like talking about this idea of being called upon. Like for some reason, the first thing I heard was like this faint, irritating, incessant buzzer, and I think.
All right.
I'm feeling pretty tired.
Yeah, man.
That was an exciting episode.
I think it's bedtime now, though.
You know, we've had a good day.
I'm all typed out.
I'm all tired out now too.
It's time for.
I can't really hear you because my headphone still isn't plugged in. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
All right. I'll just take one ear off, but.
Okay, sure.
It's been a good episode.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
Take a shower.
Yeah. Have some
tea.
Chamomile tea.
Chamomile tea with some milk in it.
We'll read that one book
that
we will be discussing next week.
I agree.
And you know what else is next week?
What else is? Oh my goodness!
Our interview coming up.
You're getting me all excited again. Guap Dad 4K next week, 933 CFMU on Brick in the Wall.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
I just lie awake and think of pleasant nights we've spent under summer's magic spell. But when autumn came, her love did not remain and made my world a living hell. I just lie awake and think of pleasant nights we've spent under summer's magic spell. But when autumn came, her love did not remain and made my world.
You're listening to CFMU 93.3 FM in Hamilton. My name is Berislav Sabolic and this is No Hope, No Fear, short stories about Yugoslav music.
Ulica je vzdłuż rzemina, oni možda sam bez jezina, koračały tak, daleko to je, bo jeden grad koji je, 40 kilometara daleko. On je sam na smijehu možda, njegova draga je tako sama, duša je njena prazna kava, baš je htio da putuje, u jedan grad koji je 70 kilometara daleko, ali išao u ratnaške i ništa nije čuo, kad je natrapao na njega, koji je bio isti on, sasvim nepoznati smo. Da li on lavabo, da li on bili, da li on selo, da li on pravično zadno, da li on možda misli zavist, ili on možda ono drugo, uvijek prisutno u svim dolina, znači on je zarobljen, zato uvijek ide unazad, kad misli da napreduje, međutim jednoga dana nekoga je ubio iz puške, baš kad je hteo da krene svoj dragoj u grad koji
You're listening to CFMU 93.3 FM in Hamilton, and this is No Hope, No Fear short stories about Yugoslav music. I'm your host, Berislav Sabolic, and tonight we have an episode that features interview with Igor Mihovilović, a sociologist, graphic designer, publisher, music researcher, and creator from Split, currently living in and working in Zagreb, Croatia. We have recorded a conversation about his work, which includes, among other activities, finding, preserving, contextualizing and publishing obscure, often lost and forgotten gems of Yugoslav underground and independent music. The occasion that prompted this interview is his latest release, Hockey Club Virginitas 1980 to 1983, by legendary Yugoslav dark wave bands Luna and La Strada, which he published for Italian record label FOAD Records. We will find out more about this release and Igor's work while we listen to the music by La Strada, Pogon, Seksa, Trobecove Krušne peći, Luna and Karma Kumulator, Igor's own music project. The time is tight, so we will move straight into the interview. Just before I do that, I would like to point out that this radio show is coming to you from the basement of the McMaster Student Union here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And you can listen to this if you are local on 93.3 FM megahertz in Hamilton and surrounding areas. But you can also hear us on the internet worldwide at CFMU. At cfmu.ca. I'm moving straight to the interview with the Igor, so let's start. How did you get into music publishing, underground music scene, and what made you do what you do today?
Actually, this is very interesting because you are one of the people that were somehow responsible for parts of my musical tastes when I was a kid, because there was this scene, you know everything about it, because you were making it at the time. There was this very small underground scene in Croatia during the war and shortly after the war. And I was like some kid from 7th or 8th grade when I discovered some local bands and some other things that were really blossoming at the time in Croatia. So I had some really great connections from the beginning. There was this guy from this band in my hometown who is actually Oleg from the famous Croatian indie band No Comment from that time. You were also doing something with them, like releasing some tapes and stuff. So he was almost relative because my family was very close to his family for the whole life. So I was like just going one evening. I went to his house with my mother and father, and I met him first time, and I was already into this music, and he gave me like really big box full of tapes and zines, and that's it. It just went from there. Like everything started in that one particular night. So it was like fanzines time. So everything was really easy. Everything was very rudimentary. You just find some address and you wrote some letter. You requested some tapes, like I did from you, and you got some positive feedback on this. So you didn't have to have so much money. Just the enthusiasm was like the main fuel for this whole thing. So I guess this was like something that really struck me from the day one. And also, I think a very important thing is that I'm a sociologist now, so I may be thinking about some other aspects. But I think that this anti-war and anti-nationalism and anti-mainstream approach of many bands and of many things from that time and all this subculture from the time I think it left a really big influence on me and on my work and on everything. So it was political in a sense. Then everything was really, it seems like it's a big deal. It's like we're doing something important in a way. So yeah, it was just like a very nice hobby, which started like from nothing. And during the years, I was doing many things. I had a few labels. So this one I have now, it's like almost 20 years old, but everything is interconnected. So all these things, all these hobbies are just like something that just flows.
At which point did you get into doing vinyls, doing it really seriously, very meticulously, and very professionally as you do it today?
I was 20 years old when I started to make some zines on tape, avant-garde stuff, because nobody did it before in Croatia. I did that with Mario Kovac. We had this small tape label from 99 to 2004. So in those 5 years, I always wanted to do some bigger things, but I didn't have enough money. At some point, I decided, okay, now I will have a professional label, but it's not professional label in the sense that I'm living from that. It's just professional that it looks professional enough, and that those vinyls and releases, CDs, whatever, I like all formats, that they are high quality enough to be like thing from the store. But this was a long project, because long process, because I was like just learning everything during the process. And also I'm doing design work, graphic design work for all of my life. So just like everything is, again, it's interconnected. So at one point I'm doing all this, I'm preserving all these recordings and archival materials, and on the other thing, I just know how to fix them in a high quality way to make a great release. So it's just like some kind of cocktail of my interests and things that I love. But it wasn't in a few months. It wasn't in a year. It was like a very long process in which I learned, and I always learn on my own mistakes. So it's never profitable. It's never the zero. The game. You just take the money and lose it on something, and the next time you're a little bit smarter and you lose a little less money. But now it's great because I see some newer releases and some things that I'm doing now that are really easier to do, because there is a web of people, some kind of web that allows me to do some things without having to spend all this money by myself. It's really labor of love, and we just have fun. I think mainstream ways of doing things and mainstream ways of how things are functioning, and capitalist idea of what music is and how to do it, it still lacks the small hole in the system where we can do it on more free way. So I think that it's great time to do it, because vinyls are really high quality. All these pressing plants are really making it like when you do your record, if you're capable enough and if you make good master and you make good artwork and everything, they just take your project and approach it like it's Pink Floyd. So everyone gets the same amount of meticulous work into everything. So I think the records are now really better than the records from the 90s, and everything has more sense. in a way. I was approached last night. This is a really weird story, but it's happening to me. It really rarely, but sometimes it happens. I was approached by this young guy yesterday on the after the gig of Swans, and I was waiting to buy a vinyl. And this small guy, like I don't know, 20 years old, he just went by me and said like, "Oh, hi, I'm like watching your YouTube channel and I admire what you do." And I was like, "How the fuck does this guy knows who am I?" You know? So these small things that are happening in this alternative place where I'm living are just the fuel for my enthusiasm always.
The first big record, from my point of view, which is, like 7,000 kilometers away from where it's happening, the first big project was the Sexa LP. That was 2010. How did that project come about? That's a very interesting project that you did.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree because the first big project was the first CD I released in 1,000 copies, which was really like 1,000 CDs. It was Pitch Pit My Moon CD, which is like some kind of post-rock, experimental math rock masterpiece between Croatia and Germany. So every project before Sexa is I think the 10th release of. Every project before that was also done with maximum love and enthusiasm and blah blah. There were also some bands from France which is nobody noticed that anymore, but there were really good collaborations before that. Of course, Sexa is monumental because they are very important band in the Balkans. They are one of the few bands that they were interesting enough to get some kind of feedback from famous Steve Albini. May he rest in peace. They were like a big band from the 80s that never fully get full recognition for their hard work of like 12 years of work. So they had only one regular LP vinyl and one 7-incher and one VHS cassette. So at some point I was like 16 years old and I discovered this live album, which is like Yugoslavia is something really different to everything. And it was just released on tape in 1986. The band was there was no more Sexa at that point when this tape was released. It was like some kind of lo-fi cassette tape release. But I fell in love, and I was like thinking for years, oh my God, nobody's mentioning Sexa. Interesting thing is, I was surfing daily. I was googling daily for Sexa materials at 2010, and there was only one site on complete internet that was mentioning Sexa. It was Predrag Delibašić from Australia. Only one link mentioning Sexa at that point. I was lucky enough because Igor Baljanin from Dirty Old label, which is also the label from the 90s, and my great friend and great guy for collaborations at that point, I just said like I'm going to release Sexa next year. And when he heard that, he said like, okay, you have some Sexa materials. I said, yeah, there is one unreleased album, live album that never went on vinyl. He said, okay, I'm going to give you half of the money. It just like that. We didn't talk anything else. I just said Sexa, and that was it. So actually, that happened. I went to Slovenia to buy this master tape from the guy who recorded it in the 80s. It was like the guy is now some kind of manager and blah blah. So he got me some price, which was not small. But I said, okay, I don't care about the money. This is the thing I want to do. This is the thing I'm really enthusiastic about. I don't care if I'm going to give away all the records. It's just like it wasn't even the 1% of my thinking like, oh, I have to get the money back. No, I'm going to get the money somehow, and we're going to do the record, and that's it. That's only my only agenda. But of course, the people from the band were really very excited, and 5 of them were approached, and everybody was extra super positive about it. And they were like confused, like, why are you doing this record? Because we don't play. You are not going to get your money back. Are you normal? So at some point, we just did it in 2010, and of course, Sexa was already known band in the Balkans, and people who collect music were already informed about them. So yeah, this was really, in some kind of way, it was the greatest PR for the label, because everybody from that point knew that there was this label that is going to do some kind of this things like this. But it doesn't end up on that. I went to the coffee with guys from Trobecove Krušne Peći, I think month or two after the record was done, and we just sit on this occasion and talk about this record, and immediately we decided to do their record also. So, and that's another thing that you have to invest your 2-3 years of life. So every project is really great amount of time that you have to invest to prepare projects like that. Sexa, I think Sexa was like 2 years. in preparations. Trobeci were also, I think, almost 3 years because you find this tape in Austria. You find this old material somewhere in Belgrade. Somebody send you an email. You have to fact check everything. Find some people that are not playing anymore. Some of them are not alive anymore. You have some rumors that you have to check, etc., etc. So all of these projects are very, very time consuming, and I also never rush about these things. I just start to do something, and I do things graphically. I go to some various people that are doing mastering for audio, and it just builds like very slowly until the project is done. I have like, I don't know, maybe 20 records of this archival stuff. It's a very big process for any record just to make it in some kind. The money of course is a problem always, but the money is the thing that I think we use the less energy on. It's just like, okay, we have to get the money somehow, and we'll do it, obviously. But everything else is more important. It's just like it's hundreds and hundreds of hours of research to do project like that.
Ova se pjesma zvala Cvijeće.
me a little bit more about the Trobecove Krušne Peći. That's also one of the bands that never got a chance to release a record and also is a cult band. And funny enough, after you released their record that was never published, they started playing again and they are actually active playing gigs regularly.
Yeah, actually, they helped financially also, and they were like very, very enthusiastic to help us in every aspect. And we released the record on the same day they played their first gig of this new material and everything. So, and also this day was very, very special because it was like the day of the youth in ex-Yugoslavia. So we were just like making fun of this nostalgia thing, and everything was really ironic in a way because Trobecove Krušne Peći are ironic very much. So it was like a big celebration of their work from the 80s. They had another band which was called Viva Gloria, and they stopped playing. They recorded a great album with a guy from Gang of Four at some point. So they were like professional musicians all the time. They didn't stop. They also had this Brujači and other projects, Alpski Rudar, etc. So they were like playing for these 30 years, but never under the name Trobecove Krušne Peći. And when the record was finally released, they just went on and they did live album in Split, which is my hometown and which is the place where I was like working for 10 years in this club. So it was really very, very organic with them. They just went on and they just did what they wanted to do. And they're very stubborn. They just do their thing, and it's very impressive for me because I never wanted any of these bands that I'm working on as archival bands. I never wanted any of them to reunite because I'm always afraid, oh my God, no, you cannot get the same energy. And I'm always afraid that it will just ruin the memory. But this was the opposite case. They were just like fucking fantastic musicians, and they just do their thing like they just do it like they're 20 years old, and it's like it's still I could say we're living in other type of regime, other type of everything. We're now in some kind of freedom, and everything is not so rigid. I think like it was in the 80s, but they just managed somehow to be subversive in this time. So I really like their attitude and their approach, and it's very natural. These guys are just, they have to be on the stage, but at some point they decided not to play anymore. So there is a new record which is coming out, not on my label, on some other label of this famous Croatian PR agency, which wanted to release their record, which is great. So they're releasing a new album, which is also very nice, and they were like making it for the last 5 years. And now that it's done, they don't want to play anymore. So they just do some collaborations with famous Indosh, the guy who's doing all these crazy avant-garde performances and this theater. So they are active in this way, and they do some new collaborations with him on stage. And it is musical very much, and it almost sounds like Trobeci, but the band itself only played one gig this year on the celebration of the book of my friend Goran Polak. So they played a few songs this year, but they were not active for the last 5 years, I think, and they said that it's the end.
A lot of records you have produced came out on the Italian record label FOAD, Grč, Mrtvi Kanal, Devastation, and among many. How this collaboration did start, and what is your experience with that label?
It's just digital time, you know. You met somebody on Facebook and you have similar friends, and I buy very much of new things that are coming out that are interesting to me. And somehow FYD is like something I'm really a fan of for some quite time now. And I think approximately 10 years ago, this guy Julio, who's very, very deep with Yugoslavia scene, obviously, and he likes all these bands. And also I like his band because Triple Bastards is his band, and he was doing some great grindcore stuff for almost all his life. But anyhow, this is his work, you know. He's just like doing these hundreds of amazing Japanese all over the globe old releases and re-releases. And at some point we were getting to know each other better and trading some records and stuff. And at some point he just I don't know. Actually, I can't remember how this started. We were just like trading some records, and at some point I was just like, yeah, of course I can help you with these releases, because I don't know. Yeah, I was helping a little bit with Brainstorm, because I was digitizing the archive of this guy Vido Bradović from Belgrade, blah blah blah, and it was his band. So I was helping a little bit with that record, which was one of the first Yugoslavian records that came out on FOAD. Every year we do some release or two. So yeah, we did the Gurch 3 times now, because one record is just being produced again. So it's second pressing of their masterpiece Sloboda Narodu from 1987, and it's, as we speak, the records are getting finished. So the other thing that is now fresh is Luna La Strada, which are 2 bands from Novi Sad from the 80s, and it was like top-notch stuff. You know, it's like the greatest post-punk ever recorded in Yugoslavia, and it was really, really obscure at the time of their existence. They did this record in only 900 copies, which is like, it was really, really small record, but I think it did in Yugoslavia what Unknown Pleasures did globally. I think this record did in Yugoslavia, this Nestvane Stvari by Luna. So now we are doing the other thing on vinyl. It's their other cassette, which was released in only 100 copies in 1988. It's basically 2 bands. One band is on the single and the other band is on LP record. And I'm very grateful because these people are really, really enthusiastic, and considering how big they are and how big they grow in these decades, I was really, really impressed by the humbleness of this Bale, especially guy who played in Pekeška Patka and in Luna and many other bands.
Vaša tijela plešu, padam, moje zvukove
You're listening to CFMU, and this is No Hope, No Fear, radio show dedicated to the music from Yugoslavia, post-Yugoslav countries, and Yugoslav diaspora. Tonight, the whole episode is dedicated to the interview with Igor Mihovilović from Split, currently living and working in Zagreb, Croatia, and his latest release by legendary Novi Sad-based dark wave bands Luna and La Strada, which came out for Italian record label FOAD. Igor's record label is called Guranje Salitice. I will post the link to his Bandcamp page on this episode's page on the cfmu.ca, so check out his music. What I'm giving you here is just a small sample of a huge number of releases that he has put out either on his own or with help of his friends. We'll be moving back to interview with him. We have two more sections of the interview, and we have quite a few songs to play as well. In the next section, I have asked Igor to tell us a little bit more about this new Luna La Strada release.
I have my own YouTube channel, which is a very, very big part of everything I do. It has 800 videos available, and almost everything is small underground, obscure stuff. Some podcasts, some vlogs, some things about some new records and stuff like that. Some information about new releases from my label. But yeah, at some point, I just put this tape on YouTube. I don't know if this was the first source for this whole cassette, but yeah, I did it like 15 years ago, just out of my enthusiasm. So at some point, I was just like always thinking about and always brainstorming with Julio what to release, what kind of band should deserve to have a release like this. And also, there's other problem because not, as you know, from some of your experiences, not all the bands have their archive saved. There are lots of bands that are really cult, but they just don't have anything. It was like mixture of, I think, good luck and just enthusiasm. Like, okay, we should do this Luna La Strada thing, but I don't know how they will react. So it was really very easy. I just wrote some Balis, my friend, on Facebook, and I tell him, yeah, can I get in touch with you? I would like to propose you some kind of deal. And I tell him what did I release. Yeah, these older releases are great because they serve you as a, it's like your PR card. And all these bands were friends a little bit, so if they had luck to meet each other. It was small scene, and all these people know each other, and all these people respect each other in many cases. So it was like very, very easy to do. But the source for the record was just a tape. We couldn't find a better source, so I just did it. I did everything basically from this saved tape from the 80s. And also I must mention Nikola Vitković, who is a wizard of post-punk, very, very active guy who has his own impressive catalog of music. He's doing these various projects involving Convoy Bonton Bikera and Alone. You should check out these names because it's really, really high quality experimental synth pop stuff from Belgrade. And he's also my friend. We were playing some gigs like 10 or 15 years before, and we met, and also we talk about Luna, we talk about many stuff. So I never want to be the only guy behind my projects. I always want to include other people that are enthusiastic, that are, that have some qualities. I think I can. So he wrote really, really nice liner notes for this, and really, really extensive ones. he was also so meticulous about translation of this. So it's like very lots of time went into this release. It's not something you just do it because you have like 2 weeks of your spare time. And also, which is special, that this release is record plus 7-inch, because it was too long for one record and it was too short for 2 records. So I just said, yeah, let's do this weird combo. I like it because I never did it before, so it's the first one. The only thing that is problematic is when you do 7-inch and LP, you pay like you do 2 LPs, so it's not financially very smart, but I think it will look very yummy.
On Wednesday, November 19th at 6 p.m. is our monthly open mic night at The Grind. Featuring singers, songwriters, poets, and performers, as well as great food and drinks. Come out and enjoy, or come and participate. It doesn't matter if you play original music, sing musical numbers to a backing track on your phone, or write poetry in your spare time. Come share what you've got. Drop by The Grind and sign up now. Last time, the list filled up pretty quickly. The Grind can be found in Togo Salmon Hall, just outside of the Student Center. Again, open mic night at The Grind, Wednesday, November 19th, from 6 to 9. See you there!
Yeah, I just wanted you to expand a little bit about your music, your production. If you can give us short history of music that you're making.
Actually, it's on pause for some quite time. There was this weird moment in COVID when lockdown was happening, and I did some new music, and I wanted to record an album, full album for Karma Accumulator, which is my main project that was alive for 20 years or so. But at some point, I just got distracted by other things, and I have some materials that are not finished. I just went on to do some other things, and basically, I have this little studio at my home, and I always record something. But those are only some kind of drafts. There are no finished products. Actually, Ivan Antunović, who is my great friend and collaborator, the guy who's a great graphic designer from Croatia, he also does very nice. He has his own labels and his own bands and etc. He's doing great synth pop stuff as well. He did one CD of all the archive material by Karma Accumulator, which was released 2 or 3 years ago. It was some live material we did when we were trio. It was from 2019. It was a project that was live for almost 20 years. So I did lots of small cassette releases. I did some vinyls. I did some collaborations and lots of stuff for compilations. There is one album for Zdenko Franjić, Slušaj najglasnije, which was compilation album, but I never managed to finish proper complete release, complete album. It was just like a project for collaborations with other friends because it had two sides. One was experimental industrial noise side, and the other one was almost post-rock guitar music. So it just depends on who am I working at some point. And also, I was very young when I started this. I was like 20 when this project came, and I went on to play some gigs in Slovenia and etc. And I was very connected with DIY experimental worldwide scene. So I guess at some point it was known for some people outside, but I was never focused on Croatia to do some things. And also these concerts that I was doing at that time were a little bit chaotic, a little bit lo-fi. As time went by, the project was like bigger in a way because the production was obviously more cultivated and more high quality, but I just got to the point where I cannot finish the proper album because of my lack of I don't know, it's maybe talent. It's a crazy thing because as you grow older, you just sharpen your abilities and your criticalness towards your own stuff, and also you just grow older from the person you were at 20 years old. So the project somehow ate itself up. This just went on for too long, maybe. So I don't know. Yeah, this is most bizarre answer, I think.
u sobi. Nije baš bilo najčišće, osjećao se ustali vonj. U sobi bilo je 4 ljudi. Nakon što me gledala nekih pola sata bez izraza lica, nije me više poznavala. Sve moje asocijacije na nju i sve što je meni padalo na pamet vezano za nju, kad bi vidio uživo, ona je gledala ovu novu osobu. Prvi put nova osoba stoji pred njom, to sam ja. Ona ne zna ko je to. Tako je gledala mene i ja u nju, ne znajući uopće ko sam i zašto sam tu. Nahranili smo kao i svaki put. Dobila je bila nekakav sok koji daju teškim bolesnicima, ono što daju ljudima kojima je rak. One neke napitke, pune svega i svačega i nakon pola ili sata ili 45 minuta ili sat vremena pojavio se mladi medicinski brat koji radi u toj instituciji, odnosno u tom objektu, i on je trebao odvesti na tuširanje i pranje i mi smo otišli. Pogledala ga je radosno i nasmiješila se, vjerojatno onako kako se meni nasmiješila bilo kad prije. Mislim da to je zadnji put da sam je vidio. Fizički je bila dosta promijenjena, jako lice je jako upalo i generalno to je bila ista osoba, ali samo imenom i prezimenom. Nekoliko godina je trajao taj fade out Alzheimera i sve što ide s njim. Nekako si sretan da možeš doći u zagrinutu osobu gdje ti je porazgovarati s njom, odnosno nešto je ispričati i pokazati ljubav uvijek, možda zadnji put, ali